So when I bought a piece from a gallery, they said to me, "Listen, you cannot sell this work or take it to auction within 5 years." So it's having those things in place that kind of like safeguard you from getting burnt as well. Because it's interesting. I remember reading there was an article that came out, I think either last year, and it delved into these three artists who were riding this boom that was worth 712 million, and the bubble just popped. And that was down to galleries not safeguarding them, taking the work into auction, their prices going up, and eventually just crashing down because there wasn't any safeguards put in place to prevent that. So I think the key thing is that legal side of having those clauses in place to really prevent that, because you don't want to feel the brunt of that. So yeah, Lisa, anything to add there? Or?
Yeah, it certainly is a contractual issue.
Yeah.
It's about legal protection. So yeah, there's nothing substantive for me to add on, but other than, yeah, where would you go to seek advice on that? Do you have a lawyer who you work with?
No, like I said, I'm still in the very early stages. So this was sales that I made at the other art fair. There isn't a contract that I can get someone to sign.
Yeah.
There, so it just came as a bit of a shock, really.
And
that's what I was...
And I think adding to that as well, I think one thing I think artists should also do is have a community as well, because like, if you have a community, you kind of speak to each other, and before you sell the work, you kind of say, hey, do you know this collector? Have you sold work to this collector before? Because once you have that conversation, you can kind of be like, okay, I'm not going to go ahead with this. It doesn't feel right. Because I think Lisa kind of mentioned earlier before, art is this thing of like that gut feeling. And if you feel as if you're about to encounter someone that just doesn't feel right, the intentions aren't really pure, then yeah, I'd say kind of.
And this is about understanding the full business of it, you know. And there's no shame in not understanding. It's complex. There are complexities to it. So it is about empowering yourself, yes, with understanding the different clauses within, you know, a really safe contract. But I would invest in some courses around art business. So just to make sure you're shoring yourself up with the other legal implications around it, so you're fully secure. It's a worthy investment that could probably save you thousands in the long term. So yeah, I want to empower you to do that.
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah, thank you guys. Very insightful. I'm an artist myself, and I've got two questions. It's a double-pronged question. First off, do you guys think the power is with the artists or the galleries? Because I've heard many talks online and so forth, and it seems to be an issue when artists speak about money, but everyone else speaks about money.
The power with regards to?
The artist or the galleries?
Yes, but with regards to getting the work sold?
Getting the work sold, exposure, everything that goes around with it, with the business aspect of things. Because as you speak...
It depends on how you're approaching getting your art to market, okay? So if you're an independent artist and you're not going through a gallery, you have the power to set your terms, but I think you just need to make sure you understand how to protect yourself, how to price your work, how to get the right deals with all the different, you know, agencies that can support you with its transportation and everything else. The benefit of having gallery representation is, when it's good and works for you, is that you have the additional resources there that they can buy into to support you around that. But you need to understand how to negotiate the best terms for you. Because I think the issue is about how do you secure the best terms for yourself as an artist when you're working with other institutions. Now, there isn't a guidebook to that, but if you understand the market and if you have a community, because your needs and what you want to get out of your relationship with a gallery are not going to be the same as another artist. With that additional resource, that network, you know, doing the courses and understanding that empowers you to make the best decision for yourself, because the gallery gets to contextualize your work, gets to set the terms of how your work is sold, you know, in terms of the contracts. So you're giving power away to a gallery when you sign up with them, but then they're using their resources to enable you to secure, a deep collector base, get, great engagement with your work, show your work within a beautiful environment if they've got the right, a nice spot on a particular street in London. But you just have to understand the terms that you're working within.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think adding to that, I think also feel empowered, because the question you asked, who has the power in here? I think going back to the gallery has the access to collectors, etc., the space. But as well as you as an artist, if you don't make the work, the gallery doesn't sell the work, and as a result, the gallery goes bust. So I think know your power as an artist, but also understand the importance of what the gallery's role is in the world. I think it's a two-way street, basically.
It's like a chicken and egg.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Second part of the question that I want to ask. I'm from Jamaican heritage. I used to paint for a very successful contemporary artist, but I wasn't allowed to partake in the African art market because I'm not perceived as African, even though
I'm too real with my reactions.
my ancestors come from there. Have you guys heard of anything else like this before? Because I've knocked on many doors. Good thing they didn't open because it ended up all right. But is there conflict there? I don't mind throwing the cats among the pigeons. I don't.
The talk is fine.
Yeah.
We need to talk about it. Okay, so is there conflict in the conversation within black art? What kind of blackness are we talking about? Are we talking about African Caribbean? Are we talking about American? Are we talking about continental African? Yeah, there's divisions. Yes, the art market has talked about African art, and that has excluded certain artists who are of African heritage, who are not, in Africa from the conversations. We've all seen the wave of African art from the continent that has been promoted. And then when those fairs come to the UK, you don't see a broad conversation about African heritage artists who may not be from the continent being included in that conversation. That's a real thing. Yes. No. Don't let them gaslight you, no. Yes, so that is a thing, but it's not talked about as explicitly as I think would be useful to talk about. I certainly encounter this as an advocate for Black British art. I mean, it's a Black British art as a concept is a very complex and to a certain extent, in some people's perspective, are quite a controversial idea, because what is British and what is Black? Putting those two things together, about Black British art in the 1980s included not just people of African ancestry. There's complexities to all of the definitions, let's put it that way. The way to navigate it is to advocate for yourself and not do it on your own, because there are curators like me, there are collectors like Chard, who advocate for a more nuanced and inclusive engagement with African, of art produced by people of African heritage. There's nuance, it's not straightforward. But yeah, so it's not in your head. The divisions have existed. There are galleries who haven't engaged with the broader conversation. And for me, there's a lack of rigor in the way that Black art is talked about, even written about. So yeah.
Thank you very much. It was really insightful. I somewhat work in the art space, but very interested in the collecting and learning more about it. How would you recommend someone go about learning about the business of art? I know you mentioned courses. Are there any ones you specifically recommend? Any books? Just anything to help someone get started? Are there any recommendations?
Can I just say, put it into ChatGPT. It will come with a whole range. Let me be real with you. Someone literally say this on camera, but a friend of mine was like, yeah, my friend wants to study this. Where would you recommend? It will show you the courses. There's lots of CSM, Sotheby's, the different art schools. They all do short courses. Use it. The answers are there. That's what I will say. I'm not getting paid by any of these schools, so.
I mean, for me, I think because I kind of came in as an art writer, it kind of gave me like a leg up to kind of understanding this kind of like daunting space. I mean, like I said, I think my best advice, and if you don't want to use an art advisor, is first to find out, okay, what kind of piques your curiosity in terms of getting into collecting, like what kind of work you're really after, and then finding, for example, like certain shows to like learn more about certain artists, building a relationship with certain galleries, because whatever art you're interested, there's definitely a gallery or artist that kind of fills that role. So within, within the London fair scene, you've got Freeze and you've got 154, where you've got a whole host of galleries coming down with art and having that conversation. So yeah, I think define it, find it, and then delve into it. Hopefully that answers the question.
Combine the two.
Okay, fabulous. Round of applause for Lisa and Chard. Thank you for your insights. I loved it.